Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. For today, we're going to be doing something a bit different, which is talking about the housing market, which is absolutely booming at the moment. So for today's topic or today's job role, we'll be talking about what it's like to be a real estate agent. Now, before we dive into what a real estate agent actually is, we have to know that it breaks into three different types of job roles. The first one is being the administrator, or the person that you sort of see when they greet you when they come into the office or when you visit the site. Now, another role with the property market is being a property manager. Now, what a property manager actually does is that they work with the tenants and they work with the landlords. They deal with finding the tenants, making sure the rents get paid on time, and also make sure that, they deal with all the renovations or repairs that they have to do with. So they have to have a really good relationships with tradespeople. Finally and foremost, probably the one that everyone sees a lot is being a sales real estate agent. Now, these are the people that you see when they go to auctions, when you go to inspections, because they deal with buying, selling, and transitioning people into different parts of their lives. But for today, we're going to be talking about what it's like to be a sales real estate agent. Probably the most common one that you see when you visit auctions or inspections. So what's it like for a day in the life of a sales real estate agent? The one that you guys probably interact with for most of the times. First and foremost is about generating opportunities. So one of the activities that you'll be doing is doing a lot of phone calls. So this is one of the ways that they generate opportunities, which is having 3 sets of 45-minute phone calls, which is almost about 120 phone calls every single week. Now, to put it into perspective, only about 1/3 of them actually pick up, answers the phone, and talks to them. In terms of the conversion rate of that, that's a bit of an unknown factor. Now, another type of activity in order to generate opportunities is actually physical door-to-door knocking. So going to different people's houses and actually knocking on their door. Now, these real estate agents actually do about 2 to 4 hours every single week, which is actually quite time consuming, excluding Saturdays obviously, because those are when the auctions generally happen. Now finally, other than doing the actual inspections, they also do buy inspections. Now these are the on-demand ones during the week when people actually can't make it on the Saturdays or Sundays and the weekends when it's actually scheduled. So they'll try to organize it to make sure that for anyone who wants to see the house or the property, that they'll make sure that they're available to make sure that they can visit and inspect the property. So what are some tips that I could provide for you if you want to become a sales real estate agent? Well, the first thing is definitely making sure that you have a certificate 4 in real estate. That is all the qualifications that you really need in order to become a real estate agent. As I mentioned earlier, that there are 3 different types of these roles that you can get into. So if you want to become a sales real estate agent but not too quite sure, you can always start off by being a property manager. So by being a property manager, it's actually quite good because you build that foundation, you build that knowledge base about different properties, about different suburbs, about the house prices, which is definitely going to be super helpful if you want to become a sales real estate agent. So again, if you want to get the foot in the door, you can do the admin or receptionist role, or go in straight into a property manager role. You get a bit of a taste into what it's like to be a sales or real estate agent. Now the second tip is obviously about always investing your time into upskilling, because being a sales real estate agent is actually quite difficult. You want to be able to provide as much value as you can to customers, right? So if you don't have that information, if you don't have that knowledge, then it's going to be a bit harder to be a sales real estate agent. You're not going to be able to build that trust, that relationship that you need in order to, be able to sell the property or get them to build their confidence to be able to trust you into selling one of their properties. So definitely invest times into figuring out different strategies in terms of how to sell property, or invest times into generating opportunities. Like I said, part of your job is a lot about generating opportunities. The more time you invest in it, the more opportunities you get, and again, the commission goes up. Now for the last tip that I could give you is actually finding the right person to work for. Now the reason I say this is because you need to find that mentor and guide to help you train in terms of the skills and the lessons that they've learned. Now, there are a lot of bad habits that you can pick up along the way. So making sure that you find the right mentor who will guide you, train you, and support you in terms of your career is actually extremely important when it comes to being a real estate agent in general. Now moving on, what are some myths and misconceptions about this role? Now I think the first myth is also something that I had as well, which was that real estate agents get the first dibs into buying a property, because they should understand and get the first-hand information, right? So when a customer wants to sell one of their properties, they're going to go to a real estate agent, right? So the real estate agent will understand that, hey, this property is going to be on sale, I should try to buy into it if I really like it. That generally doesn't happen. Now the reason that doesn't happen is because there's a conflict of interest involved. The real estate agent will know what is the best price for the property and what is going to be a bargain within the suburb. And obviously the customer will obviously want the highest value. So there's going to be a bit of a conflict in interest, and it generally doesn't happen. Now it doesn't mean that real estate agents don't talk to other real estate agents to help each other to purchase a property. So a lot of that still does happen happen, but about 99% of the times, it rarely ever happens. The other myth or misconception is that a real estate agent only does the buying and selling the house. You know, they just open the doors and let them do inspections. Actually, a lot of the times it's actually investing your time into training, right? And joining other teams to learn different skills, some different strategies in terms of how they operate as well. So when it comes to the sales role, you have the potential to earn whatever time you put in. So if you're not that motivated person to actually go and chase after leads or find leads, then you might want to consider a different sort of industry to get into. This is quite a sales focused role. And so if you're not that type of person, then you might want to try something different. Finally, being a sales real estate agent may seem all happy all the time. You know, you work to get commissions, you sell houses, and it seems all happy and lovey-dovey, right? But actually, it's not always the case. A lot of the times you're dealing with people who are put in this financial situation where they actually don't want to sell this property, but because they have a financial debt or a person in their family had actually passed away, they have to help these families sell these properties. So again, a lot of times it's not really happy. People aren't selling it because they really want to, but maybe put in a very bad situation and need to sell it. So a part of a real estate agent is actually making sure that these customers feel comfortable and are taken care of and supported along the whole journey. Now finally, you're probably wondering whether this role will be relevant in 5 to 10 years. I think I'm going to tweak this a bit because it's definitely going to be relevant within the 5 to 10 years. The difference is that a lot of the tasks that a sales real estate agent will be doing, or just real estate agents in general, is that a lot of it is being automated. Now, prior to this, it was quite manual. You know, when someone puts in an inquiry for a property, you know, someone will have to physically type it out and answer the questions. Nowadays, there are very generic questions or frequently asked questions, such as what is the price guide? You know, what are the inspection times? Can I get a contract of the property? And so on. And so they've actually automated these replies and messages. And for anyone who's actually been, you know, trying to look for a property, you probably have realized that when you go and apply or inquire for a property, you get a response almost like a minute later. Now, obviously this means that it's automated and they know that what sort of responses you're after. So a lot of it in terms of the paperwork, where you generally need to go to the customer to get it signed, and then you need to go to the buyer to get it signed. You know, a lot of this can happen digitally now. So a lot of the times it has really changed to make sure that it's so much easier. The agent can actually do it sitting on their desk rather than actually visiting the people and actually getting assigned. The only reason why I say that this role is still going to remain is because of the negotiation aspect and actually making sure that you have to physically inspect the house, right? So unless there's a way to be able to show a house through virtually, or that people are comfortable with doing that, it's going to be really difficult to replace this role. Again, a house is a physical asset and it will still need someone to physically get there to be able to show you the property. Again, the negotiation aspect of it, to be able to get the right price for the customer and making sure that, again, you build that trust and that, you know, confidence in the customer to make sure that they feel like they're in reliable hands and supported along the whole journey of the process. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Now, if you haven't seen it already, go click here to check out all my other videos about the different job roles that are out there. And if there's something that you're curious about in terms of a different job role, make sure you comment it down on the section below, so I'll do my best to cover it. Also, please make sure you like, subscribe, and click that notification button so you won't miss out on a single video. See ya.